Welcome to my channel, guys. Today I have to do maintenance on this guitar and we thought it would be a good idea to share some quick tips with you guys so that you can apply them as well and take care of your instruments the same way I do, and I've been doing this for many years. First thing to do is to find a good table to work on and use a towel to protect both the table and the guitar at the same time. Always have your products nearby and all the tools that you're going to need, so even if you need, make a list beforehand and get everything ready and going. Here I'm taking some measurements on the bridge because these will be very helpful later on when you want to put the bridge back on. It's not like the perfect way to do this, and I would not recommend doing that only. But having a sort of a go-to measurement will help you just have an idea where the bridge should be. Always hold your strings carefully when taking them off the guitar and cutting them, so you won't be damaging the finish on the guitar as well. Here we are taking the pickguard off, and I think we'll be taking the knobs as well and cleaning all this dust. You can see the guitar has a lot of dust and powder. This comes from use, it's normal, especially if you are on a very busy place. So you want to use a very dry cloth first, and you want the cloth to be really clean. You want the cloths to be either out of the washing machine or almost out of the washing machine, so you don't damage the finish with any leftover dust from the cloth. So here we uncover the truss rod and we clean the headstock the same way. So after cleaning the guitar, we should be using some hydrating oil for the fretboard. The oil that I'm using, I think it's cedar oil. You want to use the most natural kind of product that you can find that works best to hydrate woods. Many people use mineral oils, or also lemon oil works. Here we are using a machine lubricant on the tuning machines and the truss rod. I'm using WD-40, it's one of my favorite ones for anything that works mechanically, but I will not use that one on the potentiometers or any other electronic parts of the guitar. For the electronic parts, we are going to use a different product that you can check out later on. Here we are also lubricating the bridge and everything that works mechanically on the guitar while cleaning it at the same time. Here we are cleaning a little bit better the tuning machines, and I think I'm using WD-40 in this corner on the cloth, so it helps me a little bit with the cleaning. I'm doing a more in-depth cleaning of the fretboard this time, so I'm using an old toothbrush. Using an old toothbrush is very helpful here because it's very hard to access these frets, and I think I'm going to put a little bit more oil again, so I'm sure the wood will stay hydrated even after all this cleaning. So here we are going to clean the electronic parts on the guitar with R10. This product is based on alcohol, and so it will evaporate quickly and will not leave any grease or stains or any trace on the electronic parts. I'm always keeping a cloth nearby so I clean any leftover product from the guitar finish and I avoid any damage to it. But other than that, this product is very nice to use and very simple. Here I'm just tightening the tuning machines. You have to check if you have any play or how good they are, but usually you just want them a little bit sturdy, not too much, not too loose, just enough so they work properly. Here I'm using lacquer polish to polish the lacquer, the finish on the guitar of course. And this is the most intensive work that we will have because it's a very big body on the guitar and you have to get the guitar really clean of dust so that you can properly polish the finish. Here I'm using a different cloth. this cloth it's not orange, it's brown, so you definitely have to use a different cloth for polishing, so that you are sure that you only have the polishing product on that cloth. If you have any sort of dust in that cloth, that dust can damage the finish on the instrument, so you have to be very careful with that, and probably keep that same cloth as clean as possible at all times as well. So now it's just working a lot on the instrument, of course. Never let the guitar take too much sun or direct heat, direct light from the sun, because that will be damaging for the wood and the finish as well. Here we just polish the pickguard a little bit, after it's clean of course. So here I'm going to put a little bit of super glue in the nut of the guitar, here in the neck. It's easy to get the guitars a little bit bent while putting them, or just tuning the guitar, or just even with the playing, and if the nut is loose it will move around and you will not have a nice experience on your guitar. So putting 2 little droplets of super glue will help. It's easy to put and it's easy to take it off when you need to take off the nut, and it will keep the nut in its proper place pretty easily. The next thing I'm going to do will be to apply some graphite with the pencil. So the graphite will help keep the strings lubricated when you are tuning the guitar. The strings have to go through these grooves, and the graphite on the grooves will help them move along easier. Here we are using again WD-40 to clean the bridge. This is a mechanical piece, and so it's nice to clean it and lubricate it with this product. We are also cleaning all leftover product with some tissue, paper tissue, so everything is not greasy or anything like that, and can be put on top of the guitar body. After everything is clean and ready, we are going to put the bridge back on top of the guitar. To do that, we should check the measurements that we took earlier, because then it will be a lot easier to get the bridge in its proper place. We still have to worry about the tuning and also about the octave adjustments on the bridge, but because the bridge is already pretty close to the position that it was before, it will be just by doing small adjustments, and we won't need to do any big adjustments. I'm also keeping the same string gauge that I was using before, so I won't have to make any changes, if any at all. The strings are almost the same, the 1252, so I'm not expecting to have any trouble doing this. Now let's put new strings back on the guitar, and I would recommend when doing this that you will try to get the cloth under the bridge. We can nudge the strings so we can keep it in place when the string is inserted into the tuning machine, and afterwards with one hand we hold it in place, so it makes it easier to bring the string up to tension. I'm also trying to clip the string with one loop over the top and then one loop under the string, so that both the first and the second loops of the string around the tuning machine will try to clip the string in place. I would also recommend you to be careful with the strings not to scratch your headstock. Here I'm skipping a few strings so it's easier to keep the bridge in place, because if I put all the strings on the same side, the bridge will be pulled into that side. This might sound like a random tip, but just always remember to clean your strings after you play, because our hands are very greasy usually, or the strings just get dirty naturally, and so we should clean them every time we play after we leave the guitar. Never leave the guitar with dirty strings. In this particular video I'm not going over the pickup height because it's a standard measurement that it's usually around 2.1 millimeters on the high E and 2.6 millimeters on the low E, and I already have my things sort of set up like that, and I don't expect that I need to adjust that very much. Strings are installed on the guitar, we can put the pickguard back on and the knobs. I also still clean up a little bit because of the leftover product, but now it's a lot less product than before and the guitar is starting to look ready to play again. Here I'm using this Boss tuner to bring the strings up to pitch and start to work on the tuning of the guitar. At first it will be normal and expected that the strings will get out of tune really quick and fast because they are brand new, and so we have to tune them a few times so that the strings balance out their weights and tensions between them and the guitar body, especially the guitar neck. After the strings are really well tuned and are in a stable place regarding tuning, so they won't be moving much, now I'm going to adjust the string height, retune the guitar again, and when the guitar starts to feel comfortable and appropriate to play, I'm going to work on the intonation. And this is really important because it will make the guitar sound a lot better when it is in tune, and if the guitar is not in tune regarding the intonation, the guitar will sound always awful no matter what you do. And so to keep in mind that you play an open string like the high E, and then when you play the same string on the 12th fret, or sometimes I will go for any other note that is higher, but I'm going to be looking if the notes are sharp or flat. And usually, especially on the higher notes, if those notes are starting to get sharp or they are just sharp overall, I'm going to move the bridge back. I'm going to move the bridge away from the guitar neck or away from the pickups, so I'm going to make the strings longer. When the string is flat, I'm going to reduce the size of the string by moving the bridge forward into the neck, forward into the pickups. This is very important to keep in mind. And always tune back the strings after you do this, because after you change the intonation a little bit, then you have to retune the strings just to be sure and just to try it out again, and this will be trial and error. If your saddles are not in the correct positions, you are going to do this for each one of the individual saddles, or it means that you are going to be doing this 6 times. And that's just normal how to keep the guitar in tune. Usually I try to avoid having that much work when I'm keeping the same strings, because I'm just trying to put the bridge back on its original place, and then everything will be working as it was intended before I just took the bridge off to clean and everything. So the way my luthier left me the strings and everything the last time I took the guitar there, so this will make everything a lot easier. Now that we are getting to the end, let's adjust the truss rod, one of the final parts of the guitar. For that I'm using these tools that I got on Amazon. These tools are very handy because I can be very accurate with my adjustments, and at the same time I won't be doing anything too crazy. Here I'm using these feelers. They are also used in cars engines to take measurements of the valves. And the golden rule actually is funny because it's the one I use the most, is a 1/10 of an inch, and it's 0.25 millimeter, something like that I believe. It's really small increments. I have also a 1/9 of an inch that I sometimes use when I want the neck to feel a little bit more straighter than usually, but still with enough room for the strings to breathe. And if you feel like you need a little bit more room, you can go for 1/11 of an inch or even 1/12 of an inch, but I wouldn't recommend going any past that. Between 0.09 and 0.12 of the inch, I think it's okay on those measurements. And I have this really big metal ruler. This is a very straight rule, so I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. But I know I'm shipping out a little bit on these tools, and I'm not using proper luthier tools, but I'm not like a luthier, I'm just a guitar player, and I'm just doing everything that I can to get my guitar ready to play. Now that we are closing in, I'm going to leave you guys with some final thoughts. I believe that keeping the guitars in their original hard cases is the best to protect them from abrupt temperature changes and strong changes in humidity and dryness. Depending on where you live, you still need to worry about that to keep the wood in its perfect shape, but I do not recommend using silica gel to take away dryness. I live in Europe and I've seen lots of people do that around me. I do not recommend silica gel because that will attract all the humidity that you have in the room. You might want to use silica gel outside the guitar cases or just in the room in general to get humidity away from the guitars, because the silica gel will attract all the humidity into it, and if you put it near the guitar, it will make your guitar get rusty really easy. If you made it here, thank you very much for watching my channel and my videos. Please like, comment and subscribe. I hope this video was helpful to you, and you can give me some tips or exchange some ideas with me if you think there are some things that can be improved. Thank you very much for your time and have a great day. Bye.